Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Diving into Doctor Who here on It's a Wonderful Podcast. What a weird pairing of episodes we have today, though, Jeannine,
Yeah.
because it is the second part of a great two-parter that we obviously started last week, the Impossible Planet two-parter, the introduction of the Ood, and seeing the Doctor come face to face with something I bet you didn't expect the Doctor would be coming face to face with, really.
Yeah.
Because it's not a very sci-fi thing
No.
when all things are considered, even though, as I think we said on in talking about the Impossible Planet, that particular episode feels arguably the most sci-fi
Yes.
of what we've got so far, really,
Mm-hmm.
certainly in season 2, series 2. And then we pair that today with one of the most infamous episodes of Doctor Who, certainly of modern Doctor Who, there is, which is Love and Monsters, the first Doctor Light story, meaning the Doctor and Rose are kind of barely in the episode. It focuses on a completely different set of characters, a completely different lead character, and it has gone through some reappraisal. But I don't think, certainly at the time, it was considered a
Not
misfire.
And
some people do still refer to it as a misfire today, or even just flat out ridicule it, and I think we'll get into kind of why that may be. My kind of vague feelings before we get into any detail, obviously, on today's episode on Love and Monsters, is that I think conceptually it's very interesting. I just think tonally it's way off. Not only in comparison to other stuff going on in Doctor Who at the time, and particularly series 2, there's been a lot of over campy stuff going on. Sure, we have that happens. I just think Love and Monsters does take it a little too far.
A little bit, maybe a little bit.
in the tonal shift from the rest of it. And it doesn't help itself that it comes after a very, very serious feeling two-parter, like the Impossible Planet and our first episode today, the Satan Pit. I mean, what do we think of these?
I think it is really interesting that we're going from a very sci-fi heavy episode, trapped on a space station and these alien beings being taken over by something and trapped in space and this whole kind of thing. And then going into something that has this religious undertone to it. And this kind of higher power, deeper kind of entity that even if you don't believe in is still kind of something that exists in the real world. So I found that really interesting. I like that it was very action packed as well. We're like running through vents and we're dealing with a character who's kind of a saboteur among friends. So I like kind of the build up to that reveal of a betrayal, how they play the scene with the Doctor kind of making that big risky sacrifice. It's like it's not going to be any kind of dire thing, but how they set it up, David Tennant's performance, it still made you feel something. Like you still felt some kind of concern and worry despite kind of knowing the Doctor's gonna be fine. You
don't know. There might be a mid-season regeneration goal.
I mean, I doubt that. I'm pretty sure Tennant's around for a little while before any changes happen. But even the build up to that, Rose getting to say something just a second too late, all of that I think played really dramatically and entertaining, in an entertaining way. So I really enjoyed the kind of final piece of that first setup. And as for the
As for
contentious
Love and
episode. I mean,
Monsters,
yes, I mean, I commend it for being like a creative workaround for, budgetary issues.
yeah,
You
because
know,
that's what it was for. Basically, they
yeah.
had to make Love and Monsters because at that same time, all the budget and the filming schedule was
Mhm.
going on the Christmas Invasion, which was obviously
Yeah.
Tennant's first appearance. And
Big array,
I
yeah.
think TV shows like this aren't necessarily filmed linearly either, are they?
Mhm.
They're filmed
Yeah.
as and when they
All out
can
of
be.
order, yeah. Mhm.
So that's why Love and Monsters exists from a production standpoint. And
Yeah.
yeah, I like that you commend them for trying something. I don't think we can fault them
Yeah.
for trying something.
Yeah. There feels like there's effort there, like, it wasn't just like a slap together thing. It feels like they tried to craft a clever narrative and connect it to the Doctor and connect it to past events that were very kind of iconic in these first couple episodes,
Yeah,
um, in order to kind of reel us in and connect us to the Doctor without the Doctor having to really be there a whole lot. So getting to kind of see a different character's perspective when all the crazy mannequin things were happening in the very first
mm,
episode, or
the
um
Autons, yes.
yes, or the big alien invasion that happens and seeing that from a different perspective. And then finding a way to connect this character even deeper into the lore of Doctor Who, and seeing him since he was a kid, and having this
Yeah,
audio diary kind of uh aspect so that it makes sense why he'd kind of be explaining all of this to us.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like an
I
early,
definitely
almost an early vlogger that it feels.
yes. Yes, so I commend it for, putting effort into, kind of a forced workaround, and not just kind of doing something that felt lazy. It didn't feel lazy to me.
No.
So if nothing
Okay.
else, I appreciated that, they tried to do something creative with what they were working with at the
Okay.
time.
Okay, I like that. Let's get into the episodes properly then, because obviously we're starting with episode 9 of series 2, which is the
Mhm,
Satan Pit. I'll give a little bit of a synopsis. The 10th Doctor faces off against an enemy that defies all his beliefs, while Rose
mhm.
and the survivors of the Sanctuary Base 6 crew are trying to escape from the Beast's legion of possessed Ood. Can the Doctor stop an impossible enemy escaping its prison and save the universe? This is the most interesting thing about the Satan Pit to me, is that it literally it confronts the Doctor with
Mhm.
something he doesn't possibly believe in. He
Yeah.
does not think could have ever existed. And this is the Doctor. This is somebody who's seen how many alien
Everything.
species, but
Yeah.
and how much craziness over the
Mhm.
course of the run of Classic Who, all everything. But he's never come up against the devil, like literally the
The
devil,
devil.
Satan
Yes.
himself
And you can
exists
see it as
in
him.
this world.
Yeah, and you can see him, like, believing in all of these other things because he's seen them with his eyes, but, like, this, I guess you could, write religious aspects as kind of a man-made, belief system. And so something like that is kind of beyond the pale of what the Doctor can believe because, it feels like like a creation, uh, as opposed to something like tangible in his existence.
Yeah, it's totally it's totally intangible, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tangible is a great word. He considers it totally intangible. He considers it absolutely impossible.
Mhm,
And it's such an interesting thing, obviously, to have the reveal of the beast be
mhm.
the devil himself.
Yeah.
Um, After obviously been through all the rigmarole of going down that big mine shaft at the
Mhm.
end of the last episode, them going on this search, them finding these pieces of evidence of some sort of lost civilization and all
Yeah.
this sort of stuff. Obviously, we had all the possession stuff,
Mhm.
creeping into it. Toby being
Yeah.
possessed. Toby gets
Yeah.
possessed again here.
Yeah.
He's constantly getting possessed. The Ood are obviously very, very possessed, and it's a very action-packed episode
Mhm.
because the Impossible Planet was the slower build, and I think that's why I
Yeah.
really like the Impossible Planet. It's the
Mhm.
great setup of it. But this is just it's that kind of story in that totally different tone. It now turns up the action of it confronts you with the issue coming to its climax, and you have to deal with it. The crew of that space station and Rose, obviously up there, they have to deal with these maniacal Ood that you can't
Yeah.
control, who are killing people with their little orb things
Yeah.
and
And
like kind of
speaking
shooting
for
them,
whatever.
speaking
Yes.
for the beast and shooting these
Mhm.
little orb things into people's
Yeah.
heads and frazzling them, and
Yeah.
that's how you know some people end up dead.
Yeah.
How very fun of the beast to be doing this, but all the while that's going on up there, and it's all craziness, and you're getting, it's very intense, it's very thrilling, it's heart pounding action, it's great,
Mhm.
great action episode. You're completely flipped with what's going on down in the pit
Yeah.
with the Doctor, and I can't remember the other woman's
Oh,
name
yeah.
now for
Mhm.
some reason. I might be able to find it quickly, but that's almost you're bringing the philosophical sci-fi into it again with these two. They're talking about how can we ever possibly escape this? It do,
Yeah, they're
is
gonna run out
us.
of air.
They're going to run
Yeah, they
out of
can't get
air.
out. Yeah.
They can't get out. Is us being down here worth us dying just for discovery's sake?
And something.
And that
Yeah.
kind
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff. It's very, very interesting questions to be thinking of. The Doctor's
Mhm.
obviously got a little bit more of a laissez-faire attitude of it because he kind of knows that, okay, something's probably going to happen. Let's not forget that
Yeah.
he went down into the big mine shaft in the first place because that's where the TARDIS fell into. And when there was
Yeah.
that big earthquake in the
Yes.
Impossible Planet, the TARDIS fell down there. So he's not there to look for the lost civilization as much as he might be telling people, "Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
this is
even, yeah,
fun."
impressed at what they found. Yeah, he's there kind of for another singular reason. So, and he's kind of always of the mindset that like things just work out, things just have to work out. Like we just kind of have to believe that, or what else do we have? So whenever.
Certainly the 10th Doctor's quite a lot like that. He is kind of like, "No, this will happen. I am the Doctor. This it will be okay. I know it doesn't
Yeah.
look great, but if I can think of a 0.1 percentage that it will be okay, I'll find that 0.1
Oh, but
percentage, and
yes.
that's kind of what it feels like here.
Yeah, and Rose has that same belief in him. She's like, "As long as
Yeah.
the doctor's okay, he'll figure this out." And so when everyone's kinda giving up, she's always going to be 100% in the mindset that the doctor will figure it out, even if it feels incredibly dire, which it does here,
Oh,
because
yeah. I
he's
mean, people are
rappelling
dying.
down
People
this.
are getting,
Yeah, people have
you know
died already, and and this thing is after them, and they don't know how to stop it. Like there's a point where they're all in the ventilation shafts trying to get away from the possessed Ood. Um and they don't know where to go, and they're kind of trapped, and they get out, and then we see that that guy is possessed again, and he's like
Yeah.
hiding it from them purposefully. And the doctor and that other woman are stuck down in this, where they were mining, and they have no other options. They're gonna run out of air. They can't get out. So the cable's gone so far as the doctor has rappelled down this big hole. Um, and so the only option he sees is to just drop, just let himself drop and see how far the hole goes. Because what else are they gonna do? but then it's just this kind of uncertainty. And, I think that kind of mentality is kind of an interesting juxtaposition because, believing in something like Satan, you know,
Mm,
opens you up to belief in any kind of higher powers and religion and faith in something.
yeah,
And the fact that the doctor doesn't believe in it, but then he has this unwavering faith and belief in things working out and things being okay. I mean, he's running on faith when he decides to just drop into that hole, yet
yeah.
he can't believe in this devil being that is part of a whole faith structure, which is just kind of an interesting thing to think
Yeah,
about, I think.
it's a very interesting thing to think about. It's a very good point, and again, it's the sort of interesting, very unique contradiction that this particular episode plays with and tackles really, really
Mhm,
effectively. You know, this science versus religion, if you want to call
mhm,
it science versus religion, kind of point that we're trying to tackle here. We don't get any answers,
mhm.
obviously. We're not here to
No.
debate the world away and cause chaos and have everyone of every belief coming at us from all sides. We're not
Yeah,
doing that here, and this episode's not doing that, but it's just
yeah,
bringing up this idea of people coming literally face to face with something that they did not think was possible and how that would affect
yeah.
somebody with the experience of the doctor who
Mhm,
genuinely pure out of understandability really believes
mhm.
they know virtually everything,
Yes, and
like you
logic
get
and all of that kind of
and
stuff. Yeah,
logic,
experience, logic, yeah.
and obviously religion isn't logical. I don't think that's a harsh thing to say. It's not logical.
Yeah.
It can be a wonderful, wonderful thing,
Mhm,
but it's the antithesis of logic because logic is something that is can be tangibly proven as something you see. There it is. That has to
mhm.
be that way because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You can't have that. So that is the monologue, the great monologue. That I mean, Tennant's very good at monologuing. He will come on
Yeah.
to some very good monologues in slightly later episodes and series. But it's a great one because he's questioning himself at every
Mhm.
turn and questioning how this being in front of him is managing to exist there at this
Yeah.
time. Who on earth put you there?
Yeah.
And hold on a minute, you're just the body of the beast,
Yes,
the
you're the trapped
mind.
body of the Satan beast, and your
Yeah,
mind is the thing that's inhabiting and taking over and possessing the
yeah.
Ood and these people in the ship, so,
So
yeah.
does your mind have a home? Does your mind come back to you? And it's these kind of very, very
Yeah,
interesting
how
things that
did
you
you
never
kind of
quite.
come apart? Yeah. How did
Yeah,
you find the ability to separate your mind from this body?
yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, okay. I think we can have the a discussion of the fact that Satan himself in this episode looks like something out of a PS2 game,
Oh, yeah.
but it was 2006.
Oh, yeah, this is like
And
a
what
PC
did we
game.
expect?
Yeah, this is like a PC game level, design
I,
here,
r-
but
I really think the design itself is very good. It
Mhm.
is just the
The
effect of it,
execution.
the CG
Yeah,
of it, and we
yeah.
can have I mean, how many times over the past nearly 2 series of Doctor Who now have we said, "Well, it's great, but,
Not
the
but
CG
it
is
doesn't
just a
look
bit
so good.
janky."
Yeah, yeah.
And here it is again, everything
Mhm.
idea-wise is absolutely great, but the CG just looks a bit janky.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, it all comes okay in the end. You get a bit of what I think I am going to refer to, and I'm sure I've heard this somewhere else on some Doctor Who YouTube channel somewhere or something. TARDIS ex machina. You get a bit of
Oh,
that
yeah.
coming into play, which obviously means that basically when nothing is possibly could go right. Everything looks like it's at the
Yeah, like,
worst
they have to
possible thing it could
yeah, they
be.
have to leave the ship. Rose wants to stay and wait for the doctor because she just believes he's gonna get out of that hole
Yes.
somehow, but they knock her out and put her on the ship and
Yeah.
fly off to get away from this black hole and everything.
I don't know if you
You know,
noticed
she's
the incredibly unnecessary comment that Toby made about Rosie's bottom as well in
oh,
that particular
yeah.
ventilation shaft. And you know,
Yeah.
whenever ventilation shafts do, you know, people do crawl through them in movies, in
Yeah.
TV, and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
It always does remind me of one of our Christmas watch-alongs of Die Hard that we did once
Yes, yes, the
with my
very
dad.
famous the very famous scenes of Bruce Willis crawling through the ventilation shafts, and you're done like,
That
nobody could fit in there. No,
Nope,
that's not realistic
it's
at
not
all.
possible.
Yeah.
Ventilation shafts are not that big and they have grates every meter. It's not possible for people to crawl that far into a ventilation shaft. Yet this one on this space station seemingly can fit 2 people abreast. Never mind just
Yes,
one
it's
person.
wide, it's long, it's, like, lit up,
It's
it's
massive.
well
It is.
lit.
It's perfectly lit.
Yeah, it's like disco
Almost as though
floor
it
lit.
was done intentionally.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
but
You
yes,
could,
there's a
like,
very
sit up
unnecessary
completely
comment as
upright,
well.
like, in those
They do.
duck yeah.
Very weird. But no, obviously there's tension there between the characters because you know there's arguments there between the characters
Mhm.
because Rosie's not for leaving that space station at all, and they have to, you know, the crew has to come to accept that their woman, Ida, her name is,
Yeah,
has died down there.
yeah.
They have to come to accept that she has died because they're
It's not
about
gonna
to
yeah,
get sucked into the black hole.
yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
finally, after all this time to get sucked into the black hole. And they're having to, you know, they've only known the doctor a matter of a day, sure. But
Mhm.
they also have to come to terms with the fact that they're losing the doctor as well. Certainly, this is more serious for Rose. So there's all this emotion, there's all this panic, there's
Yeah.
all this what you
Mhm.
know. Let's just believe again. Ironic. Let's just believe in the doctor as though he's a
Yeah.
godlike figure, but the doctor can't believe in Satan. You know, not the antithesis of a godlike figure, sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a deity-like
The
figure. Right.
opposing, yeah, deity figure, yeah.
The yes, the polar opposite, the literal opposite of God as we
Yeah.
know, you know, as we think of God to be.
Mhm.
But we can have those feelings towards the Doctor. It's very interesting, but it is very intense as a character sort of argument, as a character
Mhm.
tension piece as well. But the TARDIS Ex Machina comes into play, and the TARDIS decides to show up and go, "Oh, I'm here to save the day." And this is the
Oh,
useful thing
yeah.
about the TARDIS is that we're aware that the TARDIS is a living organism, you know, a living
Mhm.
thing. The TARDIS is alive. It's not just your average spaceship, is it? We
Yeah.
know this. We were told this in series 1.
Mhm. Yeah.
This stays true. So the TARDIS kind of has its own little sentience and will pop up here and again, right next to where everybody is, right when they need to escape from somewhere. There's no possible alternative, and
Yeah.
it looks like everybody's going to die immediately. TARDIS Ex Machina
The
will come in
doctor
and go,
just
"I'm
falls
here, getting
into
me."
yeah. Yeah, the doctor gets blown back into something, and then when he looks up, the thing he gets blown back into is the TARDIS. As our ship
Yes,
is, like, fighting to get to not get sucked into the black hole.
yes.
So all of this is
And because
happening
the TARDIS is obviously
simultaneously.
very
Yeah.
powerful, it is. The TARDIS is obviously very powerful. It cannot get sucked into the black hole, so the Doctor manages to
To just pull the ship
take
out. Ugh.
to pull the ship out, and he manages to grab Ida as well, who at this point I think is
Yeah,
just passed out.
yeah,
So she's fine, or you know, from lack of oxygen or what have you.
yeah,
The beast itself has been is really offering no threat because we can't
No.
kill the devil, but the
Yeah.
body of the devil, we just kind of, well, they
It's, like,
have to
trapped
almost
down
leave
there.
it.
Yeah.
It's trapped down there. We have to leave it with the assumption that it's going to get sucked into the black
The
hole,
black hole,
but
yeah.
we don't obviously
Mhm.
know that that happens. We don't
Yeah.
see that happening. We
Yeah.
just have to assume that's what will happen. And that's,
Mhm.
again, that's the belief that the Doctor has at this point to in the belief in the black hole. Let's believe in the black hole, something we've
Yeah.
actually seen on that nice little roof window
Yeah.
they have to drive you insane. That was
Yeah.
the whole point.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And then the Doctor comes on the comms, doesn't he? Somehow he's got the
Yes.
comms for this little
Right?
escape pod thing
Yes,
that
and
they're all
says
in.
cute little things that he
And
always says.
this just happens.
I'll trade one
Yes,
for, for one of mine for one of yours. So, making it known he has Ida, he'll
yes.
trade her for Rose, and very cute little surprise. And Rose, like, I knew all
Oh, and
along,
Rose is very,
basically.
very made up with this.
Yeah, yeah,
Rose gets very emotional. I'm here. Come and save me. Come and save me. Oh, it's great. Oh, yes. Thank you,
yeah.
Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. And even more hilariously, the Doctor latches the TARDIS onto this escape pod and forces them to take his path as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you're not going where you want to. You're going with me.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not letting you go until I get Rose, and then I'll let you go and never think about you ever again.
Pretty
And that's the
much.
Satan pit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? We don't see
And
these
then it's
people
like
ever again.
he's
Who are these
very
people?
kind of like, yeah, and I think, when he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't save the Ood. And like very just like
Oh yeah,
honest,
the Ood.
no
Forget the Ood.
really strong emotion from him about, which I feel like,
No.
which is just kind of a bit of a departure because, despite the switch with Eccleston, where Tennant is more fascinated and excited about humans and humanity, um, Eccleston's doctor was more, hurt by any kind of pain coming to any non-human entities. Like he could,
Yeah.
empathize and sympathize. But here,
Well, this is because he's a
Tennant's like
PTSD-stricken Doctor. Because the
exactly.
Ninth Doctor is PTSD-stricken. The 10th Doctor is getting over that PTSD.
Clearly, because yeah, he's just like,
Very,
I'm
yes,
sorry,
very clear.
I couldn't save the Ood, and then just like moves on to just being happy with Rose. I was just
Well,
like,
that is kind of the point. That
yeah,
is kind of the point
yeah,
of this incarnation of the Doctor.
yeah.
You're supposed to recognize
That he's
that he's
changing, that
not
he's
as
getting
affected
okay.
by
Okay,
that
well,
anymore.
I'm
And
definitely reading that. And I got
yes,
used to,
and
like
gets
I liked
affected.
seeing that empathy of him, and,
Yeah,
and him kind of living with this guilt of, failure and that kind of stuff when things went wrong.
yeah.
He would kind of take that on, which makes him feel more human to me. So, I
Hey,
always
look,
appreciated that.
that's what made Everybody Lives at the end of the Empty Child two-parter
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
wonderful, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
finally he could actually save everyone, and he
Yeah.
was joyful, and it was
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
10th Doctor doesn't care really about
Yeah.
everyone in that same sense. He kind of just at the moment cares about Rose, and we're
Yeah.
supposed to get that.
Mhm. He's very much like, if
It's
other people
kind of
have to
all
die because
Rose.
of this, yeah, she's the priority, she's the
Like,
focus, she's the
I don't
I'll
care
feel
about
like we still did
you,
okay if as long as
Rose
Rose
is
and I get
okay.
out of this okay. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm noticing that more, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know yet.
I mean, what
So,
are we not willing to elaborate on maybe how we feel about that? What do you think it's kind
I
of
don't know, like,
leaning towards?
I don't know, because like I said last time that I feel like there's this building, pressure on that relationship that it's building to some kind of tragedy or something.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of emphasis on their care for each other. There's a lot of emphasis on Rose being very dependent on the doctor. There's a lot of emphasis on her barely getting out of situations and him, determined to save her, more than I've ever seen. So, um, yeah, the fact that, like, everything is so heavily focused on her rather than kind of the bigger picture mission of trying to, like, save and help everyone and save as many people as possible, and the shift of that pressure the doctor's putting on himself is just kinda interesting, and I I don't know. I don't know,
Oh,
like, I'm very much like, yeah, I don't know yet how I feel about that because I love that relationship between him and Rose, and I love that focus on her, you know, but I also liked the Doctor when he was about the bigger picture of helping and saving everybody and that kind of thing. So, I mean,
okay,
I don't know how I feel.
okay.
I'm a little conflicted about that.
Well, I don't think you won't be conflicted for long. You won't be allowed to be conflicted for
Okay.
that long. We are coming up, obviously, to the end of the series, aren't we? That's only 3 episodes away from where we're up to at the moment in our
Okay.
watching of Doctor Who. So you won't feel conflicted for too long. You will have an opinion either way. I am
Okay.
very interested to hear where or your feelings on where that relationship is
Okay.
as Doctor and companion by the end of this series. I am very interested in hearing that, knowing what you've just said. I would also take this time to just vaguely remind you, and just to keep in the back of your mind, the episode "The Girl in the Fireplace," which I think you've said is probably the strongest episode and your favourite of
Yes.
the series so far.
Yes, because it's just, yeah, it's complicated because I'm like a non-shipping shipper of that relationship because, like, I
Okay.
just I love the energy between Rose and the Doctor. I love, when they hold hands and when they smile at each other and when, they maybe have a little flirty comment here and there. Like, I don't need them to be together. I don't need them to get together. I don't need that to be the dynamic, but when little things, like, kind of feel a little bit that way, I enjoy it. So it's like a
Okay.
weird thing. So when the focus is, like, heavily on Rose, like, I'm into it, but also I liked that kind of overarching empathy for all things that we got
Okay.
from the Ninth
I like
Doctor.
that.
So, yeah.
I like these. I like
If a
these
non-shipping
thoughts going
shipper
on.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah, no,
as a pair of
I think I understand. I understand what you mean, and I like I like these thoughts that are bubbling around
yeah,
in your
okay.
mind at the
Okay, so I'm
moment. To
not
be honest with
completely
you.
out of my depth kind of feeling these things or thinking these things.
Well, who's to say? I cannot
Oh,
possibly
okay.
divulge any information at the
Okay,
moment.
okay,
Can I?
fair
I
enough.
will let the show be the show, and you will have to
Okay,
watch the show as you will, obviously,
okay,
to find out what's going on.
okay.
Let's move in to something that's not focused on Rose at all. Love and Monsters, Janine,
Yeah.
episode
Mhm.
10 of series 2 of Doctor Who. I'll give a little bit of a synopsis. An ordinary man, I mean, in the synopsis, he doesn't even get a name. He's called Elton.
Yeah.
Becomes obsessed with the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler and uncovers a world of living nightmares. That's a bit ominous as a synopsis, I think,
Yeah.
given the tone of this episode. I wouldn't
Mm,
necessarily call the monster that Elton and his little group
was
of fellow
fine.
Doctor aficionados come across a living nightmare. I would call it more, well, it's a living nightmare in the sense of what on earth is this thing on my television? Get it off now. But it's why on earth is Peter Kay doing that in that ridiculous green flobby suit that he's got on? Let's
Yeah.
not be doing that. Get it out of my face now. In that sort of sense, it's a living nightmare, but I don't know how much it's a living nightmare to Elton, really. But as we said before, it is a fascinating concept and a very, very bold um, creative change, a
Mhm.
creative switch up for an episode of Doctor Who. A big question, I think, here, and I don't know if Love and Monsters obviously isn't the best version of a Doctor Light story. I mean, my God, it's far from the best version of a Doctor Light story. And thankfully, next series, in series 3, you get arguably the best version of a Doctor Light story
Okay.
you could ever possibly wish for.
Okay.
So I kind of like that it goes from almost in terms of the general consensus, kind of goes from one extreme to the other, series to
Okay.
series, in terms of the Doctor Light episodes. I'm looking forward to you watching that in series 3. I must
Okay.
say, people who are familiar with Doctor Who will know exactly what I'm talking about. But
Oh, okay.
did we miss the Doctor in this episode, or did we find it not a problem that we were focused on somebody else, because we still knew it was this world? There was still an alien monster involved. There was the odd familiar, Jackie Tyler's in the episode quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's connections here and there, but do we miss it being centrally focused on the Doctor? Because we've never obviously had an episode like this
Yeah. So,
before.
I mean, I don't know if I would say I'm like, obviously, I wouldn't say I miss the Doctor. Obviously, I would prefer an episode with Rose and the Doctor, but did I miss them in the context of this episode? No, because I think how they framed the story, what they set up, I found myself kind of easily able to focus on this character and what was going on with him.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we
so
find him a likable person? Do we kind of like Elton and how he's portrayed, how he kind of acts? I think he's a bit stupid, to be honest with you. I think he's a little
yeah,
bit.
he's very silly. He's a silly character. I mean, but I think the scenes with Jackie and that kind of monologue that he was giving over that,
Yeah.
kind of narration, I think was funny. So
He
I
gets
found
very
myself kind
close
of
to having a bit of an intimate relationship with Jackie Tyler.
yes, but even Jackie in general and her kind of flirtatious aspects with people are always just a
Oh,
little
yeah.
a source of comedy. So I mean,
Let's
that
not
whole
forget
thing of him constantly
the
coming to
first
fix things for
time.
her. Oh, the
Yes,
doctor showed up. Yeah.
exactly. Let's not forget
Yeah,
the first time Eccleston's Doctor showed up in
yeah.
Rose and Jackie's flat. What did
Mhm.
Jackie say? "Oh, look, there's a strange man in
This
my
man.
bedroom," and gave him the eyes, and he had
And
to
he was
go,
like, "Nope.
"No,"
No, thank you."
and walk out.
Exactly. So the
Kind of
fact
what
that she's
Elton does.
I mean, yeah, like he is kind of pretty oblivious at first to Jackie's
Yeah.
advances. But once he kind of gets more and more onto what she's doing, he almost goes for it, but then realizes that he's in love with Moaning Myrtle. So he
But
decides not.
he does realise. I know that's going to sound strange for anybody that doesn't, that doesn't make sense to. But he does realise he's in love with Moaning Myrtle. And again, this is another example of there's always someone you recognise in any given episode of Doctor Who. And in this
Yeah.
case, for you, I think it was 2 people.
Yes. So
It would be 3
the
people for me, because you don't know
yeah,
who Peter Kay is, who plays Victor Kennedy, also known
the
as the Absorbaloff.
yes. The modiste from Bridgerton, the
Yes,
dressmaker woman who, pretends to be French, she was in this. And
she is.
yes, as well as
And
the
Moaning
actress who
Myrtle,
plays Moaning
Shirley
Myrtle. Yeah,
Henderson,
yeah, yeah. So I
with a
recognize them.
incredibly distinct voice that Shirley
Oh
Henderson
yeah.
does have. Like, nobody has ever sounded more like a child who is not a child. Maybe
Yes.
Kristen Schaal is the only other person I can think
Who
of,
sounds very childlike.
who sounds like a child without actually being a child.
Oh yeah, because
Um,
yeah, Moaning Myrtle was like 30s to 40s. years old when she was
I think
playing like
when
14-year-old
she
Myrtle.
played, yeah, I think when she played Moaning Myrtle in Chamber of Secrets was, I think, 2002. I want
Yeah.
to say she was about 37 when she
Yes,
played
because
Moaning Myrtle.
but see, I knew that because when I think the first time I saw her in Bridget Jones as one of her friends before I saw
Yes.
Harry Potter. And I heard she still kind of has that same voice. So I knew her to be one of Bridget's 30-something adult friends in
Yeah.
Bridget Jones. So when I go to watch Harry Potter for the first time and I see her as Moaning Myrtle, I'm like, that is a grown-ass woman, but she's doing a good job. And
Yeah.
her voice was very recognizable because there's a scene where she's on the phone with Bridget crying in the bathroom, and she's very
Yes.
much leaning into that voice. So as soon as I heard Moaning Myrtle, like I knew it was the same person, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, she very much, you can hear the voice immediately in this episode. And yeah.
Well, that's an interesting little tangential part
Mhm.
of this episode, I suppose, is this strange little potential romance that he gets himself involved with Jackie Tyler, because he's only really looking for Jackie Tyler to get to Rose
To
and
Rose.
therefore to get to the Doctor, because
Yeah.
he's in this group of people that include Moaning Myrtle's character, Shirley Henderson's character.
Yeah.
He's in this group of people who just want to find the Doctor. They
Yeah,
are Doctor
they've had
aficionados, they've had
sightings.
Doctor sightings, they've
Mhm.
had Doctor sort of involvement in the past,
Mhm.
and are just kind of fascinated by him. They don't want to, it's not in an evil way. They don't want to capture him
No, they just
or
wanna
anything
kind
like
of,
that.
have their beliefs be, have concrete kind of proof for the things that they've
Yeah.
seen and experienced.
And
But
it could be argued that they form a lovely little friend group, Jeannine,
they
even though they
do.
do some slightly odd things, like form a band. Where does
Yes,
that
which is
come
just very
from?
random. Yeah, they would meet regularly to have these discussions on sightings and things, and then, one person finds out they can play an instrument, and then they all just kind of get together and have little jam sessions, and,
It's really
it
weird.
becomes less about looking for the Doctor and more about just kinda hanging out and having a good time, which is kind of cute. And
It's kind of cute if it wasn't
like,
too
so
silly.
random. Yeah. It was just so random and weird. Um and he's documenting this like in a vlog, talking to the
Yeah.
camera, explaining what
Not like
happened with
not
this
in a
group. And
2010s era vlog either. This is 2006, let's remember. This is
yes,
proper
like a
webcam
little,
camcorder.
yeah, exactly, propped up, and you can see the little boxes and the little
Oh, yes,
record
the little
little
recorder
flash.
in the corner, yes.
Yes. And I wanna say, is it in black and white or is it in color? I think it's in
No,
color,
it's in
but,
colour, I don't
yeah,
black and
I'm
white.
like I'm like, are they really trying to, like, sell it as, like, this is a video recording kind of situation? I was trying to remember. Um, and,
I don't think they would have
he's
sold just black and white camcorders in
oh, I mean,
2006. I think we were a little
if they're
bit
really, trying to save on the budget,
it's
maybe
not
they
that
would.
long ago, you know.
I mean, if they're really trying to save on the
Interestingly
budget,
enough,
yeah, but
interestingly enough, I think it was this week, in fact, as of obviously when we're recording this and the episode's
mhm.
obviously going to come out fairly soon after we record this. This week, I think, is the 20-year anniversary of Series 2 starting,
Oh,
um,
okay. Well, that's a good
which
timing.
is a fun little timing that we've got there.
Yeah.
That I kind of thought was relevant, but no,
Yeah.
we weren't selling black and white camcorders 20 years ago. It was only
Okay.
20 years ago. It's not 70 years ago.
Well, I figured,
This isn't the mid 60s.
they would do more to, like, cheap out on their, they have to, save on their budget, so black and white maybe
I think
would
at a certain
help.
point, does it not become more expensive to film
To do
something in
black
black
and
and
white?
white?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that switch did happen by then. But yeah, he's documenting as part of this whole group situation and explaining kind of the crazy situation that happened. And so he's kind of
With
documenting.
childlike wonder, Janine, he's doing it as
Yes,
well.
and
He is
he's
a
talking about how he
12-year-old in
got
a
there.
like
Essentially,
28-year-old
I mean,
song.
we get him dancing on this video and having a, good time and,
Yeah.
um
To what to
what
oh, what
song
is
was
it? The
it?
damn song. ELO, isn't it? He loves
Mm,
ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. That stupid song that they do, I can't think of the damn name now.
like
Everybody
what?
knows what that song is. Sun is shining in the sky, there ain't a cloud in sight. That one, whatever that song's called.
Mm, yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, so we, see him dance to that song and sing along to it multiple times on his little vlog. But he's explaining, like, how their group got together, the doctor sightings, how things started getting strange, how he kind of starts talking to Jackie in order to get close um, to find
Yeah.
Rose and find the doctor.
Let's remember
But
they call
yeah.
themselves Linda as well, the group.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's an acronym as well. God knows what it actually
Oh, I
means. I
don't
should probably
remember.
know this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
What the hell did it stand for? This is the kind of stuff that obviously makes diving into Doctor Who a first-rate Doctor Who podcast.
Oh, yes, 'cause
Uh,
we're so prepared. What
because
was the song
we
again?
should know
What was
this
it,
sort of
Black
thing.
and white? What
I
was
don't.
what
It
does
wasn't. Well,
Linda
we knew
stand
it
for?
wasn't in black and white. Here we go. Linda stands for London Investigation and Detective Agency.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
that's what it stands for.
I forgot about the detective
That's what
agency.
it stands for.
Yes. So yeah, he talks about the start of this group, how it evolved into kind of just this fun hangout, and then this strange suited caned man comes in to kind of take over the group and make it more
Yes, but
efficient.
there is far funnier for anybody from Bolton, which obviously is where I am from,
Yeah.
because this man, Victor Kennedy, is played by Peter Kay, Bolton's most famous comedian, stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Very, very beloved figure for decades now.
Yeah.
Really, somebody I've actually watched in stand-up myself.
Oh,
Been to like
okay.
an arena to see him in stand-up myself. Um, certainly 20 years ago, at the absolute peak of his comedic
Yeah, this would have
powers,
been a big
shall we say,
deal
as
having
well.
him in this,
It'd have been,
you know.
yeah, it'd have been a big deal, but it would have obviously, people would have known that, okay, this is going to be a little bit out there. This is going to be a little bit silly.
Oh,
Why on
silly.
earth are they getting
Yeah.
Peter Kay to do this?
Okay. Yeah.
This
And he's
is
coming
this
in
is
as
strange.
like this Charles Lawton feeling kind of figure.
I love how you consider him to be Charles Lawton. I think Charles Lawton would be so insulted, and I also think Peter Kay would be so in love with you for thinking he was anything like Charles Lawton.
Considering Charles Lawton's biographer wasn't serious one.
He
Or like,
was, he
yeah.
was, yes. Simon Callow played Dickens.
Yes. I mean, I don't like just the energy of him walking in with this hat and cane and suit and
He's got a weird little goatee.
yeah, it's reminding me of like Big Clock lot.
Yeah. Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit.
Charles Lawton's mustache in the big clock
Yeah.
is something to behold. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful little thing. His entrance, that might be the best, one of my favorite character entrances in
Yeah.
any movie.
Oh yeah.
Willy Wonka and Charles
Charles
Lawton
Lawton.
in the big clock, who comes
Yeah.
out of that elevator lift and just starts brushing his mustache with his little finger
Yes. Yeah. That's good.
while berating people around this boardroom table. It's great.
It's great.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yes. So
It's
I was
better
getting that
entrance
kind
than
of
Peter Kay's
yeah,
character
just
here.
walking in here with his cane and
Hello.
yeah,
I'm here
telling
to
them.
make this better. Who are you? My name is Victor Kennedy. Why
Ooh,
are you here? I'm
why do you
going to
care
make it
about us?
better.
Yeah.
How have you
And they just
found
kinda
us?
go
That's
along
not
with it.
important.
Yeah.
Why do they
And
go
so they
along with it? That's a good question. Why the
I don't
hell do
know.
they go along with it?
I
It's
don't
like, get
know.
out. We
Especially
don't want
because
you here.
they're not taking it that seriously. So why would they wanna work with someone who is, like, literally putting
Oh, yeah.
much into finding the doctor?
I
Um,
mean, he starts to almost set up something that looks a little bit like one of those boards you get in a serial killer movie, where there's pins behind the investigator and the
Yeah.
detective, and there's links going everywhere, and pictures and
Yes, and
newspaper clippings and all this sort of stuff. And
yes,
he's
and he's,
very,
like, at a
very, very serious.
yeah, and he's at a big desk kind of in the middle of all of them, like, in front of them as their desks are, like, set up almost like a classroom, like he's the teacher,
Yeah.
and they have to
No
kind of
more jam
report any
sessions.
findings to him. Yeah, and then it starts becoming a thing where at the end of every kind of work day, he asks one of them to stay behind, and then we never hear from that person again. So,
Yes.
something strange is obviously going on with him. Um and he's the one who gives, Elton the mission to kind of find Rose. He gives him a picture of Rose
Yeah.
and says, "You need to find her." And so that's when he starts talking to Jackie and coming over and fixing things at her place, and Jackie keeps asking him to do more things, and he thinks, "Oh, yeah, she just is like, needs my help." So he's very oblivious for the first couple
Yes.
visits that Jackie's literally just wanting him there so she can have a man around kind of situation.
Jackie just
Um
likes looking at him in his tight jeans.
Exactly, but then we do get, like, these sympathetic moments from Jackie, like,
Oh, we do, definitely.
when he finally realizes that Jackie wants to hook up with him, he's kinda down to do it, and then she gets a call from Rose, and it just makes her sad because she misses her, and she's worried about her, and Jackie immediately is like, "No, I don't want anything to happen, I just wanna sit here and be sad about my daughter." But then he realizes that, like, he didn't really wanna do anything either because he's in love with Moaning Myrtle, who was in the group, and she was, like, the first person he connected with on this, like, doctor
Yeah.
sighting situation. Um, and so it's really kind of cute that he's like, "Well, you know what? I wanna be friends with Jackie because she's a nice lady. And I feel bad that she's sad about Rose, so I'm gonna order a pizza, and we're just gonna have a good night, and I'll cheer you up." And it was, like, kinda nice that, like, he decides he genuinely likes Jackie as a friend and wants to, like, cheer her up and be a friend to her in this moment.
Yeah.
But ultimately, as he's coming back with the pizza, she found a picture of Rose in his jacket, so she knows
Yeah.
that he was, doing some sneaky thing, only kind of using her to find Rose, to find the doctor. And then I
Yeah.
love that Jackie's very much like, gets very protective of not just Rose, but of the doctor. Like, "I'm not telling you anything. I will protect them with my life," and this whole kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
love when Jackie, who seems very vapid and silly, who doesn't
Well
seem like she ever really pays attention to anything beyond her nose, is like,
well, we've not seen
has
real
this
Jackie for a while at any great length,
yeah,
really.
exactly. So, especially I think in this season. So it's nice to see, her really get serious, when she kind of always ends up being like a comic relief silly character,
Yeah.
and see this strong defense of the doctor and Rose, uh, against him, and so I loved seeing her go from silly to immediately kind of being
Yeah.
this tough, you know, mama bear kinda character. So I like
Yeah.
those
It's
moments with
it's
Jackie,
it's
and I like
nice.
that we got one here. So, yeah, things like that made me kind of like this episode more than I think I probably would have. Um,
Okay.
so, yeah, I enjoyed those
Even
moments, but
even with the slightly silly monster who does show up, because obviously Victor Kennedy ends up, yes, as you've alluded to, asks one person of the group to stay behind each night, and
yeah,
we never see them ever again. And this, cuts
yeah.
down the group's numbers pretty swiftly to the
Yeah.
point where, Elton and Shirley Henderson are now just thinking, what's going on
What's
here?
going on here?
Something's,
Yeah.
something's really weird. It's like, okay, Mr. Kennedy, we're going to go now. But Shirley Henderson's left her phone inside. So she has to go back for her phone. And
Yeah.
we never see Shirley Henderson again. But then Elton has to go back as well. And what we do
Yeah.
then, see, I mean, I don't know what we think about this.
This
What we do
absorbing
then see
thing. Yeah.
is Victor Kennedy has turned into his true form, the Absorbaloff. which is this bulbous green, looks like a Slitheen to a degree, but with a human
Yeah,
face.
a little bit. Mhm.
And they make a bit of a joke later on when the Doctor actually does show up in the episode that the Absorbaloff is from
Oh,
Raxacoricofallapatorius,
yeah. Mhm.
where the Slitheen are from,
Yeah.
and it's a bit of a slightly humorous exchange where the Absorbaloff spits on the Slitheen and Raxacoricofallapatorians because he's from their sister planet, Clom, which is
Yeah. Just the
this
simplicity
is
of
the
that
level
name
of
in
humor we're
juxtaposition.
dealing with here.
Yes, that planet has this crazy name, and his is just
Yes.
yeah,
You know,
it's like something you
are
would
you
hawk
from
up.
Raxacoricofallapatorius? No.
I'm from
And for
Claw.
some reason, as well, I love this. Peter Kay, when he's playing Victor Kennedy, maybe this is why you think he's a bit Charles Lawton-ish, puts on this somewhat
Yeah,
Charles Lawton style voice, but
yeah.
then when he's the Absorbaloff, speaks like he actually speaks in his normal, very
Okay.
Bolton accent,
Yeah, alright.
which just makes him sound a bit simple, which I kind
Yeah,
of suppose is the joke of it,
yeah.
because now he's this
He's
big,
not putting on
bulbous
airs
creature from
anymore.
Clom,
Yeah, yeah.
who's
Yes.
running around with a loincloth on,
Yeah.
going, "Oh, let me get your face and absorb you." I mean, it's just silly. The reason it's silly, I'll give this context, background information before we kind
Okay.
of get into a final sort of discussion point of the episode. The Absorbaloff was made through a competition on a children's television
Mm.
program. This was why it looked like that and acted like that. For some reason, they decided, because
To let a
obviously Doctor
kid
Who at
win
the
some
time,
contest.
massively popular with
Yeah.
children at the time,
Mhm.
obviously. We know this from all the, you know, context I probably gave far more of in our first series of diving into Doctor Who, when we were
Mhm.
talking, obviously, the Ninth Doctor, about how I was of that age group, that
Mhm.
perfect age group of being absolutely the right age of child in
Yeah.
2005 for this revival to just be built for, right? It
Yeah. Mhm.
was absolutely right.
Yeah.
But why they decided to actually let's get a child involved in an element of the production of the show by going on to a very, very famous television show that the BBC had produced
Yeah.
for, I don't actually know if it's still going, but it's a show that was on from the 50s, I think,
Oh,
up
dang.
until it was like a 60-plus-year-old show or something
Mhm.
like that. At that point, 50-plus-year-old show, which obviously for a children's television show, a ridiculously famous television show. Everybody had watched some form of this show over the decades. It was called Blue Peter. You got little badges if you did something well and sent something. And it's a
Oh,
strange name. It is a
okay.
strange name for a show. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say, it is a strange name for a show. But there was a competition that Blue Peter ran, design a Doctor Who monster. And this 9-year-old won it with the Absorbaloff. So they just
Okay.
used it.
Use that. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And why, when it is executed like that, it does make a lot of sense. Why does it look
Yeah.
like that? It's the stupidest thing
Yes,
ever.
this power, yeah, why he's
The
talking like
power's
that.
nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
Yeah.
fault the way he talks. That's just his voice.
Yeah. But who
You
knows if
can't.
that was part of it too, like, make him say these silly things, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, past Peter Kay was probably part of the deal, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
possibly. But
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. It's a horrible, horrible thing to witness him absorbing Shirley Henderson as well. That we see.
Yes, and then we see the faces of the other people in the group he's absorbed, like, kind of
Yes.
protruding out of him. And so he runs off and Elton's chasing him, and he's freaking out because all his friends are now sucked up into this creature, And
Yes,
then
and
who
rather
shows up?
hilariously as well,
Yeah.
the Modiste from Bridgerton happens to be on his bottom.
Oh, yes.
So that's very funny,
That's very
isn't
nice,
it?
yeah.
Because let's
Which,
make
I
a
mean,
joke
that could have been a
about
part of it
it.
too, a 9-year-old, like, "Put one of the faces on his butt."
Oh, 100%, 100%, and make some sort of ridiculous fart joke about it, which I do
Oh,
think happens,
I
which
think
is
so, I
probably,
remember.
again, why they thought that he was from Raxacorica Fallopatorius, because if there was
Oh,
one thing
yeah,
the
that
Slovene were good at were fart jokes.
farting, 100%. So yes, Elton is chasing this thing, trying to save his friends and his love, and then who shows up? But the Doctor and Rose in the TARDIS,
Yes.
and she's, like, pissed at this guy because she now knows, like, his involvement with Jackie and hurting her and upsetting her. So
Like,
she's kind of
that's
going
why
at
they
him at
show up.
first. Yeah,
They don't show up because the
they
Absorbaloff's
wanna
there, they
save
show up
him.
because Elton's there, and she just storms out of the TARDIS and go, "Did you upset my mum?
Yeah,
You've upset my mum. Who are you to upset my mum? What have you
yeah,
done? Oh wait,
yeah,
what's that thing you're chasing after?" They don't even care.
yes. It's
Very
literally about
in
getting him for messing with Jackie. But yes,
Yeah,
ultimately this thing comes about and the Doctor kind of has this, recognition of it, and they have a bit of a funny conversation. And then of course the Doctor, I think, doesn't he just like sonic screwdriver it into like melting away? Um
yes, it ends up being absorbed. The Absorbaloff ends up being absorbed
Absorbed into the
into the
ground.
earth.
Yes. Um, and so that's kind of was a bummer to me that, like, there was no way to save all the friends because there was, like, a
No,
cute couple in like, a cute other budding couple in there amongst the
yeah,
friends and, um
yeah.
yeah, and was
No,
seeing, like, their fun little bond and their little band. So I
it's a
thought
very
there would be a
convenient.
situation where they would at least kind of be able to extract all of them and, save
Yeah.
them. So that was
Well,
kind
I
of
suppose, I mean,
disappointing.
would we have had the argument that it was a convenient thing that everybody gets saved? Or do we have the argument that I'm going to put forward with, which is that it was a convenient one line of exposition from the Absorbaloff, who just said, once they are absorbed, there's no
Mm,
reversing. You cannot
yeah.
reverse the process of the absorption. They are
Mm,
with me now. They are in me now. Oh, aren't they so tasty? And he just keeps saying this. It's
yeah.
very creepy. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's very creepy because this monster is wearing nothing but a loincloth and looks like a troll.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's kinda creepy.
and he's kind of rubbing himself, going, "Oh, tasty." It's
Yes, he is.
really
I forgot
weird.
about that. Yeah. So, he does get absorbed into the earth with along with all of the friends, but the Doctor thinks he can at least help kind of save one of them to
No,
a degree.
the last one that was absorbed, and I wonder
Absorbed.
who that was.
Yes. So then we end the vlog with him talking about, we end up kind of see who he's talking to in this vlog. And
Yeah.
it turns out, yes, the last person to be absorbed was his, budding girlfriend, who I think he does tell her that he likes her before she got absorbed, so he was able to.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah, she does. He does.
Yeah. Yes. And so the best the Doctor could do was to extract her head partially protruding out of the block of sidewalk that she got absorbed
Yes.
into.
So it
And
is now a stone flagstone, or a flagstone,
yeah,
that just has Shirley Henderson's face in the middle of it,
yeah.
and
And
that's
they're
what
gonna
she
have a
looks like now.
relationship, her and
Oh, they're
Elton.
gonna, yeah, they and here is most people's biggest gripe with this episode. I mean, it does end on this part as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. The vlog ends with him revealing her in this slab of
Yes,
cement, talking to her, and them discussing the relationship that they intend on
yes,
having with her in this state.
yes, which
And he
includes,
makes
as
a
Elton points
comment.
out. Yes, he does. It includes, as Elton points out, a bit of a love life, therefore suggesting Elton is sticking himself into a slab of cement.
Yeah, like, either he says or she says, like, "At least I still have my mouth." So, something
Yes,
to that effect.
it's really, really uncomfortable.
Mhm. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be in there. It's completely unnecessary, and this is exactly what I mean when
Yeah.
we said before, we don't need to kind of reiterate this. Conceptually, this is a very, very
Interesting.
interesting idea.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
execution of it is not good. And you can reappraise it as much as you want to, because I know where that reappraisal comes from, and it comes
Yeah.
from not focusing on the unnecessary crassness of it, not focusing on the like blatant stupidness of it, not focusing on the fact that for some reason we've done a complete tonal,
Shift.
180
Yeah.
in the series to get this now. Yes, we've had comedy throughout the series before, but it's not been that, has it?
Yeah.
It's not been crass. It might have been campy, but it's not
Yeah.
been just silly and rude
Yeah, kinda
and lewd.
gross. Yeah, yeah,
And
and,
now
like,
it
they even
is.
try to and they even try to add this little bit of deeper kind of layer with the Elton character because, we see him running from the mannequins from series 1. We see
Yeah,
him, deal with the alien invasion, I think, um, and then we learn, like, his very first doctor sighting was when he was a little boy and some creature came and killed his mother, and the doctor showed
yeah,
up to, like, save him.
yeah,
Um, and so we get this, like, emotional moment of him revealing and then, like, we even get these flashes of him and his mother and their relationship and, him as a boy with her and them having, like, this great time together, and then this thing kills her, and the doctor saves him. So, we get this really kind of poignant connection he has to the doctor and speaks to, like, why he just wanted to find him because this was somebody that saved his life and tried to save his mother and this whole kind of thing. So, you add a bit of emotional connection to the doctor and then end on this kind of pervy joke, like,
yeah.
"Mm,
It's
okay."
it's just, and this is what I mean. I don't think, I think watching it now, it comes off worse than it did then, and it was thought of badly then.
Yeah,
So it, what does it mean now? It leaves a very uncomfortable taste, you know,
yeah,
to end the episode with a totally unnecessary comment. Really,
yeah.
love and monsters. That's it. I mean, you've seen it. I was fascinated to hear what you thought of it, and I
Yeah,
liked that we're kind of in the same camp on
mhm.
what an interesting idea, but why is it done like that?
Yeah. You're getting your budget and you're told we need to cut back somewhere. Okay, this is a clever idea on way we can do it. We can do this episode focusing on this character who's kind of tangentially connected to things that we know that you would remember. We can connect him to the doctor in this thing. We can introduce these fun characters to focus on. We can
Yeah,
get a little bit silly, maybe have a little bit of a fun, lighter feeling episode. Um, and then bring the doctor in for just a little bit to kind of,
yeah,
bookend things. Um, but yeah, then you just end on that. Just so I
yeah,
get the concept of a reappraisal of this for many aspects of it, but yeah, then to end like this was
yeah.
just weird.
Unfortunately, Janine, it doesn't get much better. I mean, in a different way, not crass or anything like that. Just in a
Okay.
this is quite bad way. In all aspects, this is a poor episode of television,
Mm,
kind of way. Next
yeah,
episode, the fact that we got
okay.
these two episodes back to back, phenomenal production decisions, I must say. I mean, why? I mean, did you want anybody to watch the finale? Did you, did you want anybody to get excited about the finale
Yeah,
when you're putting these two back to back? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, like, this is
But
something
we
you
do
should have
have,
shoved into the beginning half of the series maybe so that, like, you could just kind of wash it clean and then get, pretty
oh yeah,
solid going forward. Yeah.
yeah. But what I mean when I preemptively say all that is that the next episode we have to talk about is this back to back, this is a terrible episode kind of situation. So we get
Oh,
Love and
no.
Monsters, and then we get
Ooh.
episode 10, and then we get episode 11, Fear Her, which is the production decision of the century. To be putting these two episodes back to back and clearly not wanting anybody to get excited about the finale story.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Well, that's
Um,
not fun.
no, it's not fun, but we do have the start of the finale story as the
Okay.
second episode next week,
Okay.
which is very good indeed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we
Quick rebound. All right.
we've got interesting things to
Mhm.
follow up with Fear Her and Army of Ghosts next
Okay.
time on diving into Doctor Who, because till then, obviously after that, we've just got the one episode to focus on for series 2 to end. Doomsday. It's called
Okay.
Doomsday. I don't know if you were aware. It's called Doomsday. It's called Doomsday.
Oh,
It's a very
interesting.
beloved episode.
Okay.
Very, very beloved episode. Very, very, some would say, iconic episode as well. Before we get into series 3 as well, which is
Yeah.
wild. I don't know if we might shove a little show in between
In
the
between,
series. I don't
maybe.
quite remember. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll see when we get
We'll
there.
see. Yeah.
What we will do, because we'll be back onto Dawson's Creek as well on the
Yeah.
alternate weeks of this show, because that is how our TV-based things work here on It's a Wonderful Podcast. No matter if you are watching today's episode on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel, do subscribe and ding your notification bell here, of course, if you are watching. If you are listening today, do subscribe wherever you may be at on all and any chosen podcast platform. Leave your comments on Spotify, rate, review, like, share, all that good stuff, wherever you are listening today. On a Monday, we are currently alternating between diving into Doctor Who and investigating It Welcome to Derry. We do only have one episode of that left, talking the final 2 episodes of that first season of that show. Morgan Hasn't Seen is, of course, every Wednesday, as we will be closing out our April series, won't we? We're not quite in May yet on Morgan Hasn't Seen, with One Night in Miami this week, Regina King's One Night in Miami. But we will be starting a new series on the main show later on this week, on a Friday, celebrating old movies like we love to do the most here on It's a Wonderful Podcast, starting a very exciting 5-week-long Paul Newman series. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Just get more of a reason for Jeannine to get all hot and bothered about things when she has to look at Paul Newman a lot over the next month. To be fair, just as much of a reason for me to get hot and bothered as well, because as we all know, I think Paul Newman is one of the best looking men of all time.
Yes.
As I'm sure so do
I
most
concur.
people. And if anybody doesn't, I don't know what on earth your taste is. And I'm sorry, I'm not here to say, you might like certain types of people. You might be attracted to other certain types of people. This is an objective truth.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that, but this is an objective truth. Paul Newman in the 60s was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the late 50s.
Yes.
Maybe particularly in the late 50s, about 58 to 63 is just like,
it's a vibe.
Something's going on there.
Yeah.
And that's where we're spending most of our time on in our Paul Newman series on the main show. But do subscribe wherever you are listening. Of course, again, I will reiterate that if you would like to support us on Patreon or donate in any such way, you can find links to do that in the description of today's episode, or find us on and across all the social media on the app formerly known as Twitter, and on Blue Sky at It's a Wonderful One. Find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at the Purple Dawn with a 3 instead of the E in there, because, Jeannine,
3 is the magic number.
On Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at the Purple Dawn. All your love and monsters are where
you can find me, Jeannine, Yes. You can find me at Janine Devine _ on Twitter, Janine Devine on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And if you want to get any merch for any of our shows, just check the description for the link or search G9 Design on tpublic.com.
I couldn't very well say all your Satans aware,
Yes,
could I?
please don't say that. No.
Or all your cement slab romantic partners aware. It would just be silly.
No, I don't think that would work
We
either.
don't want to think more about that.
No.
It does, of course, leave us only one thing left to do, and I think it might only be right either to try and do a nice Peter K. Bolton accent, which I can obviously turn on like that if I want to, but I use my podcast for the shows, so I a different accent in real life. It's not that different, but I'm one of those people who kind of changes the voice slightly depending on who they're speaking to.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that, actually. I might have just divulged some information there that people weren't familiar with. But it's or, which I think you'll be better at, you can do an impression of Shirley Henderson.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can even go that high. She's very
It's quite tough.
3, 2, 1.
It's very happy. Yes.